Hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to my energy weapons build in Fallout New Vegas. As with standard guns, the energy weapons in this game are very versatile and offer a lot of different types of energy weapons ranging from pistols to sniper types all the way to Gatling laser weapons. I will give you the build based on what weapons I would use, but will give you alternatives as well to fit your playstyle. As always, there are timestamps in the description if you wish to skip to a particular section, but without further ado, let's get into the video. First up are the special stats. I will give you the value I place in each stat and give you my reasoning for why I have done this. First up we have 5 into strength. This is mainly for the weapon requirement and can work for every weapon. The highest of these weapon strength requirements would be the Gatling laser, requiring a strength of 8 to wield it. By taking the weapon handling perk, reducing it to 6 and then grabbing the strength implant later on, you'll have the right amount for the weapons. This stat can even be dropped down further if you're only planning on using energy rifles or pistols. Furthermore, if you plan to go through it, you would optionally be able to complete the Old World Blues DLC and grab the Reinforced Spine perk to increase your strength permanently by a further 2 points. Next up we have 5 into Perception. This is mainly for perk related options such as grabbing better criticals, which does require 6 but again can be increased by taking an implant at the clinic. Next up we have 8 into Endurance. This is mainly to give yourself enough to take all the implants that you will need, but also helps with tanking some of the damage during the early game. Next up we have 1 into Charisma. As with most builds, Charisma is useless and should only really be increased if you rely on speech for your entire playthrough, such as doing a pacifist playthrough. Next we have 5 into Intelligence. There isn't much for this, we will be given an adequate amount of points for our skills and will be able to take all the perks we need with it. Next we'll have 7 into Agility. This again will be for perk related options such as taking Nerves of Steel. Finally we'll put our luck to 9. This can be increased to 10 with an implant or other armor bonuses. This will help with dealing crits if you wish to go down that road, as some energy weapons have a high chance to crit. Furthermore, this can be beneficial if taking perks such as Meltdown further on down the road. Next up are our tag skills. For this build I have taken energy weapons, repair and science. Skills can be quite flexible, with science being the only one you can change out for another skill if you wish. I chose these however, energy weapons of course being the main weapon category we are using in the build. Repair, as energy weapons have a significantly lower item health compared to its ballistic weapon counterpart, and science for perk related conditions as well. Finally we have traits. For the first one we are going with skilled. Skilled is one of the best traits for any build, as the negative is negligible and can be offset by a perk if it really bothers you. For the second, this will depend on what sorts of energy weapons you're going to use and even if you want to use a certain weapon at all. The first option would be Wild Wasteland. This is the trait that adds a ton of Easter eggs around the game for you to find. One of these Easter eggs however is adding some aliens from Fallout 3 into the game where you can then find and kill them. On the captain of the aliens will be the Alien Blaster. This was featured in the Mothership Zeta DLC from Fallout 3 and was your reward for completing the DLC. This weapon is a one-handed pistol type weapon and is one of the most powerful energy weapons in the game. It is the only weapon in the game to guarantee a critical hit on every hit, regardless of the perks and stats of the player. The only problem with this weapon is that the ammo that the captain also carries is the only ammo you can find for the blaster in the whole game. Once you go through the rounds, the weapon will become useless as you will never be able to fire the weapon again. Because of this, I would suggest not taking Wild Wasteland and choosing another trait such as Fast Shot. Fast Shot is good for VATs and also makes automatic weapons like the laser RCW and the Gatling laser even deadlier. Before leaving Doc Mitchell's house, make sure to loot the crates in the starting room to find an early game laser pistol as well as some early loot to help you on your journey. Starting out in the early game after having done the tutorial, it may be worth selling everything you don't need to Chet and buying the GRA version of the laser pistol or plasma pistol. Either of these, especially when modded, are very good solid choices, and your biggest challenge will be gathering ammunition for the weapons. Chet can sell all of the mods for the laser pistol and the plasma pistol. Plasma will hit harder than laser but will take up more ammunition than the laser pistol. If you head into the store and Chet doesn't have the mods you want, leave the store, wait 48 hours and he would have restocked his inventory. We'll head on over to the cemetery, pick up the Snowglobe and head slightly outside of the cemetery to rebuild your character. You can take advantage of the glitch where you retake your traits, take skilled once more and it will grant a further +5 to all skills again. After leveling up, make sure you have a medicine skill of 30. This is now where you can choose your first perk, which is mainly up to you, but I would suggest Black Widow or Confirmed Bachelor as you are more likely going to fight male combatants over female and so the extra damage will be beneficial. Next up, we'll head on over to Sloan before we get to Primm, fix Snuffles' leg for the small XP gain, fix the generator and head to Chomps Lewis for the NCR reputation increase and some NCR dollars for the generator. Before leaving, head into the barracks to loot a copy of Duck and Cover as well as Dean's Electronics. You can also loot some more items within the barracks. Now with Sloan out of the way, make your way to Primm and deal with the escaped convicts. Head into the Bison Steve Hotel, deal with the escaped convicts, unlock the storeroom for some more loot and then fix and use the elevator to kill some more convicts and loot the small stash in one of the rooms. For the next 4 levels, increase your Science to 70 for the Vigilant Recycler perk or Sneak to 70 for the Professional perk. Both are very good perks and you should be able to take both eventually, but both have their uses. The Professional will increase the damage dealt by your one-handed or submachine gun type energy weapons by 20%. Vigilant Recycler will unlock more efficient recipes at the workbench, allowing for better ammo conversions, but will also make it more likely for you to retain spent energy cells. You can then head to a workbench and recycle them back to ammunition, so it will be great in the early game when you won't have as much energy weapon ammo. Once at Novak, enter the Dino D Light, lockpick the floor safe or take the key and loot the bill of sale. Head to Cliff Briscoe where you can acquire the MF Hyperbreeder Alpha if you want a laser weapon or the GRA Plasma Defender if you want to use plasma. Both weapons are very good for the mid game and can carry you all the way to Vegas. The Hyperbreeder Alpha is a unique recharger pistol and fires lasers. Unlike the normal recharger pistol, the Hyperbreeder is a fully automatic pistol and like standard recharger weapons has an unlimited amount of ammo. The rate of ammo is a lot faster, recharging one ammo point 0.3 seconds compared to a standard recharger pistols of 1 per second. The weapon has a damage and crit damage increase from 18 to 25. This does come at the cost of the weapon having a higher weight and spread as well as a lower crit chance. The Plasma Defender is its own separate gun and has 3 separate modifications which you can apply which will decrease the weapon spread, increase the ammo capacity and you can also apply a scope if you want. The weapon is very similar to the Plasma Pistol, however has slightly more damage and crit damage. It also has a lower spread and an AP cost but does come at the cost of a slightly lower crit chance. You can also lockpick the locked door to the right and on a shelf you can loot the unique pistol, that gun. You can then go back to Cliff and sell the weapon to him. Next, wait until night, speak to Boone and offer to help him with finding the person who sold his wife into slavery. Bring Jenny May Crawford to the front of the dino statue and allow Boone to kill her. Bring him the bill of sale where you can get the first Recon Beret. This piece of armor not only grants 1 into perception but also adds another +5 bonus to your critical hit chance. Once at Freeside, head to the Atomic Wrangler and play blackjack. With your luck at 9, you won't have a problem with getting banned not only in the Wrangler but every casino. Once done, head into every single casino on the strip and become banned, which will result in you acquiring over 30,000 caps. Once done, we can head back to Gunrunners and can purchase the equipment we'll need to make it to the late game. Most of the late game weapons you'll need can be found here. Before acquiring power armor, I would recommend purchasing the Reinforced Combat Armor Mark II, but would keep the Beret on for the critical hit chance. As for the weapons, there are a variety you can acquire, with weapons such as the 2-step goodbye being a powerful choice, as well as mods for the weapons as well. Once done with the Gunrunners, head on over to the New Vegas Medical Clinic and gather the Strength, Perception, Luck and Nimian implant. If you want additional implants, you can take whatever else you want if you still have the endurance for it. With some of our equipment acquired, we can focus on leveling up. At level 8, take the Commando perk. This will be good for those utilising VATs and using two-handed weapons such as the plasma or laser rifles. At level 10, we have 2 options. The first is Finesse. Finesse, when taken, adds an additional 5% to your crit chance. This is of course amazing for weapons that have a high crit chance already and are already powerful. If you don't wish to take Finesse, then the second option will be Plasma Spars. For those that utilise VATs, this perk will decrease the AP cost of plasma weapons in VATs by 20%. At this stage, I would advise going for the Q35 Matter Modulator Unique Plasma Rifle. You can actually go and grab this weapon at any stage of your game, but I prefer to be slightly geared out to grab this. Head to the Recon HQ, head through the doors on the ground floor and up the stairs to a console to grab an employee ID. This will allow you access to the next room and to the higher floors. In this location are a stash of microfusion cells which you can grab while you're here. Heading up all the way to the top floor will allow you to loot the gear of some dead Brotherhood soldiers where their power armor will sell for a lot of caps. Head to the second floor and head around where you will find a door back to the ground floor. Head into the hole in the ground and on the floor will be the weapon. Underneath the rubble on a safe will also be another stash of microfusion cells. The Q35 actually does slightly less damage than its standard counterpart, however its benefit vastly outweighs this. The weapon only expends 1 microfusion cell per shot instead of 2 and has a higher crit damage. The weapon's bolt's velocity is higher and the weapon degrades 50% slower to a standard plasma rifle. Finally, the weapon has a slightly less AP cost and a lower weight, making it a much better plasma rifle than its standard version. This weapon can actually carry you to endgame if you wish, but there are a handful of weapons that I think beat this for endgame, which we will explore later on. At level 12 I would take whatever perk you did not do for level 10, either finesse or plasma spars, but if none of those appeal to you then you can take whatever you want. At level 14 I would take jury rigging. This perk allows you to repair equipment with similar items rather than needing copies of the same item. This perk is a staple no matter what build you run and is even more important due to how fragile energy weapons are in this game. At level 16 take weapon handling. This perk will bring all strength requirements of the weapons you use down by 2, making it so you meet the requirements of every gun alongside the strength implant. Alternatively, if you did not want to take this, you can also take meltdown. Meltdown is a very powerful perk which causes an explosion when an enemy is killed with energy weapons. The explosion damage is relative to the weapon used to cause the meltdown and can also trigger critical and sneak critical hits, causing a chain reaction of explosions. It is a very powerful perk but does come with the downside that you can accidentally kill other NPCs and even yourself if any of them fall within the blast range. If you don't take it now, you can take it at level 24. At level 18 take better criticals. This perk allows you to deal 50% more damage upon a critical hit on a target, which you should be able to get after the perception implant. At level 20 take Grim Reaper's Sprint. This will only be useful for those using VATS, and when killing an enemy in VATS it will restore 20 AP each time. At level 22 take Laser Commander. This perk will add 15% damage and a flat 10% chance to critically hit with any laser weapon. This does not stack with other perks and traits and instead adds its own flat 10% critical chance. This means with weapons that have a 1.5 to 2 times crit chance multiplier such as the AER-14 prototype or Pew Pew, and combining armor like the first Recon Beret and the Finesse perk, you will almost always be able to score a critical hit on a target. At level 24 you can take whatever you like for this one, or take Meltdown if you want to take that one from before. At level 26 take Nerves of Steel. This again will only favour those using VATS but does make it so AP points regenerate a lot faster. Finally, for the late game it's worth grabbing Power Armor, but unfortunately it does require you to finish either Arcade Ganon's personal quest for Auld Lang Syne where you will get Power Armor training, or you will need to join the Brotherhood of Steel by helping either Elder McNamara or Hardin depending on who you side with.
I had the Knights refurbish a suit of our power armor for your use. It's one of the earlier models, but it should serve you well. Now I suppose I'm going to have to show you how to use it.
Furthermore, if helping the Brotherhood, you will be given a key to the Brotherhood safe house. With all the equipment gathered, you could also head to the Deathclaw Promontory. You will be able to soak up the damage from the Deathclaws and carve a path through them. At the very end near some eggs will be both a set of T51B armor and some Remnants power armor, which is normally only acquired during Arcade Ganon's quest. And there we have my energy weapons build guide within Fallout New Vegas. I hope you found this video helpful, and as always, thank you for watching.